All right, good morning for those of you who are on. And I'm sure we'll have scragglers come on board. Started a little late today. It's 6:05. Apologize. Won't let it happen again. Chat's going to start right here. So if you have a question on what we're doing today, go ahead and chime it in right here. If you're watching the video post, you can still ask the question. I can still answer it. So just right here is where it happens. Chat live stream is where we're at. Let's go. Not going to do a whole lot of news this morning. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of long-term analysis and look at a long-term trade, and then I'm going to do some short-term analysis for this morning, and we're going to do a scalp. So we're going to do two different trades. I'm going to show you the analysis on both. All right, let's hit it. This is the Euro USD. Let me erase this real quick just to start from scratch. Grab my water. All right, here's what we got. So notice towards the end of the week, we finished lower. This took a consolidation pattern for the entire week pretty much. And then towards the end of the week, we had this big move down. And we're already experiencing the continuation of that move, which is glorious for lots of reasons. I've been short on Euro USD for a while. I've got a carry trade that's in too, so this is all nice. So we're looking at maybe a bearish setup going into the week. What we want to do though is let's look at this pair from the bullish and bearish perspective. We'll look at it both. Chime in by the way too. Make sure I've got sound. I'm gonna check the OBS really quick. Yeah, sound is on. Things are running well. If you can see the screen, hear the voice, go ahead and chime in and make sure we can hear you, or you can see me. All that good stuff. All right, step one. Let's draw some structure. So. One of the first things I want to do is see, here's the beginning, or here's the top of the week last week, the high. Here's the low of last week. Right, and high could have been over here, low could have been somewhere else. But we had the high here for the week. Probably looking at like Thursday or something that happened. And then by the end of the week, we hit this low right here. So there's our Fibonacci drawing for last week. So let's look at the bearish perspective on this. If we're going to continue down, look at your weekly S1, look at your extensional, consolidating right around here. Right? You got, I can't see the trade floor in the trade floor channel. Sorry, helping a poor gentleman. Trade floor. There we go. Hopefully Sun said he can find his way in. So anyway, we have this. If this is going to continue to be bearish, which I feel is pretty reasonable, there's our target. If it wants to go even beyond that, you do see this weekly S2 down here. You also have this previous low from from 2 weeks ago. I think that's more assisting this structural component right here. So if we had a low here, draw this over to this side. See, look at all that structure right there. Previous low over here. Extensional from this Fibonacci drawing and the weekly S1 all around here. That's just below the psych level. So there's our target. Easy enough. Likely could see some kind of bounce off of this. Maybe a retracement, something like this. If it wants to continue to be bearish, so in other words, if this wave comes down, we come back and pull up, that's where we're continuing down to. So a break of this area, what we would see is a break here, some kind of a pullback, and then we're looking to engage to go short to that spot. So that's our bearish trade plan. What about bullishness? I think we're really pretty set this is going to be a bearish transaction here. But if it starts to go bullish, the other side of this would be a move up towards a retracement level, and then see where we are from there. Notice here 38.2, 50%. So this would be this would be probably, let's see here. Look at your structure left hand side. You got some lows here, some lows here, some lows here. If you're to draw this over, this is probably the end of the road for bulls if this does somehow get bullish. and another great selling opportunity if we could even get back up there if you're a bear. So either way, I think we're looking at a bearish trade plan for the week. Pull back up in this area and sell it, and sell it now. So how would you trade this longer term? Well, you can say, you know what, I feel like this move is happening and we're doing this now, so I could get in with a full unit of allotted lot size now, so one full unit. If you could also do this too, you could say, what did I do half a unit here for an entry? So I could do half a unit short here. And then if you do get the retracement on this, oh boy, I put that in a really bad spot, didn't I? That's right, we'll leave it right there. If you do get the retracement on this, you could get in on the second half up in here. So you're saving a half a unit to reload on a possible, this would be more like a price average type of a trade. So if you feel like you could still possibly retrace this move, half a unit short. And this is why I'm doing this. If I feel like I made this move down, I want to be bearish, I'd like to get in, but maybe I only get in with half a unit of lot size here, because I could still retrace this move, come up into here, and then I'd like to get in with the rest of the allotted unit of my lot size to go down towards my target. Okay? So let's go ahead and do that. On this particular account, 0.04 is my typical lot size. So if I go in here and say I'm going to use half a unit right now, 0.02, 0.02, 0.02. There we go. Sell that. Oh, I gotta do one click. Try this again. And now let's go to our target on this thing. Let's go back to here. I've got, let's see, which one of these? 109.94, 109.90. Let's just shoot for 109.90. Let's go all the way down to that. So go into this take profit deal here. 1.099000. Cool, so there's that trade. Now, if I wanted to pre-program this and I didn't want to have to wait around for that possible retracement to come back up, what I would do here is I'd say, all right, I'm going to do a pending order here. Let's find that spot. Probably looking at, so you got a weekly pivot right here. You've also got 110.45 is your 38.2 retracement. Well, if we just did like 110.40, just to make the math easy, let's do a pending order on this one. View, let's see. Pending order. This would be a sell limit, a pending order to sell. 1 point. I can't remember that price. 1.1040, right? Let's do that. It's in the morning, struggling mentally. There we go. Now the take profit, I'd say it's the same thing. It's the same target, 1.09. And again, this is the second half of our entry. So again, 0.04, that's our full unit. We've decided based on our money management, that equals 1 unit of a trade. And I have a total of 8 units available to me on this one. So 0.04 is 1 unit. I decided to do half a unit on this trade. I'm going to do half on this other. That equals 1 full unit. And you can see my pending order up here. So if price does come back up to this spot, I have a pending order that's going to activate. I don't have to be by my computer. I can be eating Thanksgiving dinner. I can be doing whatever. Price could come up and hit that spot, and it'll engage me in a trade. It's a smart place to engage into a short because that's your resistance area. I'd imagine too, if price wanders back up into this area, you're going to be overbought on your trade time frames, like your 240, things like that. You should have overbought conditions. So you'll be overbought at resistance, and you still feel like you're in a short market. So a great place to get short in that spot. All right, now, I feel like personally this is probably not going to happen. I'd imagine we're probably going to hit this target here before we ever retrace back up into here. I feel pretty confident in that. So what you do now, this is my longer term trade setup, my directional analysis. When you have that in place, you say to yourself, by the time this week is over with, I'd imagine we'd hit this spot down here. Once you have that locked in, now you can go down to a smaller time frame, say a 5-minute chart in the morning, like we are right now, and you can say, you know what we're going to do is we're going to scalp in that direction. So I'm going to look for smaller pullbacks. There's different ways to do this too. I'll show you in a second. But I'm going to look for smaller pullbacks and go for smaller, like 5-10 pip scalps. This trade right here is, what is that, a 23 pip trade? This one up here would be a 53 or something like that, like a 50, no, let's see, 90. This would be a 50 pip trade. This is more like a 20, whatever, like a 20 pip trade. I'm looking for some smaller scalps as this thing might be going down. The reason I'm okay doing that is if this trade, once I get into it, if it doesn't work out, this morning, the intention of this short-term scalp trade is to be out of it this morning. That's why you do a micro scalp. So I'm trading here at 6 o'clock in the morning. I want to be short. I want to sell it. And I'd like to be out by the time the morning is done. If I'm not out of this by the time the morning is done, or if this trade continues to go against me and does this kind of stuff over here, I'm going to repurpose this trade into a longer term trade that fits more my longer term trading model. In other words, if I was to sell right now, which I'm not going to sell right now, if I was to sell right now, I'd go for 5 pips. I'm in at 110.08. I'd go down to 110.03 for a 5 pip scalp, right? If that trade didn't work out by the time the day ended, or I hit this afternoon, I'd repurpose that trade, change the take profit, and have it be more like what, this sell limit here is going to be. Right, the second part of my trade. So I'm going to come in here. What we'll do, oops, sorry, hang on 1 second. Get back into this spot. What we're going to do is I'm going to look for a way to get in on this position. There's a couple of ways I could get in on this trade. One is just wait for like a 3 candle pullback. So notice over here how I had to move down. If I have a 3 candle pullback like this is like more of a 4 candle pullback. Somewhere in here I'd get in on my trade if I was short. So for instance, I had this move down. Hit the mute button. Sorry about that. It's my cough button. Here I have a 1, 2, 3 candle, I got a 4 candle retracement. So there's a high, there's a higher high, there's a higher high. At the end of this candle here is probably where I'd get in on my trade. Notice it went up for one more candle, then it made its move down. Here I'm going to do the same thing. I've got this high, I got this high, and I'm looking for my next high after that. If I can get 2 or 3 candles to give me a couple of highs, I know I'm probably overbought on this particular time frame. I could also add, if I wanted to, the stochastic. Do stochastic slow. Just to try to find my trigger and my entry. We could do a 411. Change it to exponential. All this is going to be last. Change the way it looks if I want to. If I want it to be orange or whatever color. Don't need the D, you can leave it in there if you want to. And then over here, this into this, change it up. And there's a little stochastic. So once this stochastic hits the top, that tells me I'm very likely overbought. I can change where this looks too. If I don't want it here, I can change where that's positioned. If I click on this stochastic, Right now it's in this fourth window, so I got 1, 2, 3, 4. If I want to change that to 3, and then move my average true range to the 4 spot. So I can move that around a bit. Put this back down in here. So I just see the number on that one. Put this down in here. Move like this. There we go. Aesthetically, it looks a little better for me. So now what am I doing? Well, I'm trading with my longer term setup. My longer term setup says I believe this is going short down here to 109.90. And that might take a day or two. It might happen in the next hour. I don't know. But this is likely going to happen longer term. So I jump down to some smaller time frames, like a 5-minute chart, and I trade in that general direction. I need a pullback first, though, so that's what I'm waiting for right now. Notice what I was saying before. You made your move down. You had your 3-candle retracement, 3 consecutive highs. So look at this spot right here and how it coincides with overbought conditions. Really, you almost don't need this indicator. If you just look at your price action, you can determine when it's time to get in on a position. All right, look at this over here. You had your move down. Your 3-candle retracement happens right in here. So you notice how right here you are overbought. Now this one went against you a little bit before it actually went your way and took you out, but you're still trading in your overall direction, which is short. Right? And if you trade with the direction, trade with the trend. Remember we talked last week, we have that psychological mental component. You trade the trend as if it's never going to end. Just psychologically, we know at some point it'll come to an end, but you have the confidence level to trade in that direction. That's where that psychology comes in. So you place a short trade here. This would be a short trade in this spot. This would have been a short trade. Mark these up. This would have been a short trade here. Notice they both kind of went against you a little bit, but then they went your way eventually. So we're looking for at this spot. While we're waiting for this, let's check back on this here in 10 minutes or so. Let's look at some other currency pairs. Let's look at pound yen, and let's do the same thing as far as structure goes. Bring this over here. Look at all this consolidate. What was interesting about this move last week, we came up to our resistance area where we're supposed to sell. I told everybody, if you come back up in this resistance area, you need to sell it. Well, if you sold it and had a tight stop loss, your stop loss took you out of the trade, right? Institutional investors pushed it up, took out the stops. They got in over here at this area and then took the thing down to where? Our support area, which is where we're at right now, which is where we're supposed to buy. We're still in a sideways market. And now look at us drifting up. So where's this drifting supposed to likely end? Well, I think we could continue this structure straight across. I wouldn't be too surprised if we finished out this move to come up towards this structure. Notice you do have an R1 acting as a buffer over here. So you have this zone of resistance. This would be a great place to sell off. And even if you wanted to look at your support level, you could do that. You could take half the move if you wanted to. There's a lot of pips in here. From this 140.50 area down to this 139.50s, there's 100 pips in that zone. So if you're selling this off, there's a couple ways you could do this. One way would be to put a pending order here at this spot and, with a take profit at the support level. So let's go ahead and try that right now. And we'll tweak it just a little bit. So if we go over here to pound yen, and this would be a full unit that I would put in here because I'm at that resistance spot. I feel like I've had my pullback. I don't want to sell it now. I want to come in here to new order, to a pending order. This would be a sell limit. This would be, what was that, 140. Let's do 140.40 just to make sure we get in. So getting in at 140.40, which puts us, somewhere, that's too close. I want to go 140. I want to go 140.60. That puts me just under that spot. Let's do that instead. 140.60. With the take profit down there at 130.50. So this would be 110 pips. We're going to use our a full unit on this one. Oh, I changed the lot size, so I got to do this. 140.60. I got to change the take profit because I didn't do that right. It's 139.50 is the take profit. Someone's yelling at their screen right now. So there's my trade. If the market comes back up into this spot, I'm going to be looking to get into a sell order. And again, this is a pending sell limit. So if the market drifts up to this spot, I'm not around my computer. If the market hits this price and satisfies the spread, it'll get me into a short trade going down to this target. Now, what I want to add into this is a trailing stop. So first of all, what I'll do is I'm going to put a really, really large stop loss just so I can visually see that I have a trail stop in here. I'm going to do something just massive. We'll do we'll do 200. I mean, it's never going to hit that. Would I close it out? Oh, what a dummy. Hit the wrong button. I was, let's try that again. Try 140. This gives me practice, right? It's morning. I got to wait, shake the cobwebs off. Okay, place it. Stop loss, 200. Modify. That's what you want to do. I must have hit something that deleted the stupid thing. All right, we're in here with a gigantic stop. Why do I have this gigantic stop loss in? It's a visual. It's a visual. So when I come in here and I put, like, let's do a 40 pip trailing stop. When I put that on there, when this trade activates, this is going to turn yellow for me. So I can see that I have a trailing stop on this trade. I also have a little T over here I could look at. So if I do a trailing stop on any of these guys, if I come in here and I do a trailing stop of, let's do 3 pips. And I put a massive stop loss on it so I can see. See, that turns yellow for me so I can see I have a trailing stop on it. Cool. Yeah, so there's my trade for pound yen. We drift up into this spot. We enter into a sell trade, targeting 139.50 with a 40 pip trail stop. So somewhere in here in this area, if we drift down into it, that's where I'm going to activate a stop loss at my entry. That makes this trade in that moment a risk-free trade. And for every pip this goes down, that trailing stop is going to follow it and lock in profit as it goes. That's the purpose of that. Let's check our 5-minute chart and see if we got to pull back in on Euro USD. Still need to close this candle. I wish this could get up a little bit higher before we get in our scalp. But notice our stochastic starting to drift up to the top. What's our timestamp on this? We have time remaining. Let's put time remaining on this thing for some fun. Let's see. How do we do? Let's go up to. I'm trying to remember how we do this. Chart setting. So there's a way to see this little header I have up here with all this info. There's a way that I can change. Boy, I have. It's been so long. I've forgotten how you do it. Chart. Is it under global settings? Oh, it is under global settings. Customize chart header. So if I hit customize chart header, I can go over here and say, this is all the stuff that's there. So let's get rid of all this stuff, and I'm going to show you what I actually like to see in that big header. Hold on one second. I found my cough button. So I like to see the high. I like to see the low. I'm double clicking these. That's why it's putting them over here. I like to see, where's time remaining? I'm sure it's right in front of my face, and everyone's screaming, bar countdown, there it is. Add the bar countdown. If I want to put this up a little higher, I could do that. The currency, it's already in this header here, so I don't really need the currency. The time frame, again, it's already up here in this header, so I don't need the time the time frame available to me. So if I click on this, notice what it does. It changes the header on all my charts. That's a universal deal. So there's the time remaining. I have 4 minutes and 30 seconds left. 1, 2, this would be the third candle. So I feel like I'm getting my pullback. I feel like I'm there. This is the time to get in on a short. 110.09. I feel like we've got, even if you draw a Fibonacci on this thing from top down to bottom, you've now pulled back into your 50% retracement zone up around 110.10. So this is our time to get in on our scalp trade. If I go back over here, let's go Euro USD. Doing a lot. I'm going to do a half a unit on this one. We're going to sell this Euro USD right now. And this is a trade where I'm just going for like 5 pips. So if I go over here to 1.10, oh, let's go 6. 1.1004. Again, no stop loss. This is market managed that I'm doing. If this trade decides to hang out on me and continue, so in other words, if we come back to this, if we drift up, if this keeps going up and starts to follow this pattern, that's fine. I'll just reconstitute the trade. I'll change the take profit on this to a longer target, and it'll now be a longer term trade for me. I've got plenty of units available to me. So if I have, let's do the math on this particular account. I have a $5,300 account. So let me show you how I came up with the units on this. 5,000. Let's just make the math easy for ourselves. 5,000 times 0.00008. That equals my max lot size. This is the most I want to be out if this is the most I want to be leveraged outstanding, right? And that would be, in this case, 0.40, which is $4 per pip, right? That's my max. So notice I'm nowhere near that. I got 0.04, 0.02, 0.02. I'm at a total of 0.08 to one direction. So I'm well below this. But what I did is I took this. I said I want to know if I want to have, if I want to produce 8 available units for me to trade these 3 pairs. How would I do that? So in fact, you know what I could do is I could do 10. Let me see, what did I do on that one? I think I made 10 units. I got my Bill Gates calculator on my side over here. 0.4. That's what I did. I said I want to make 10 units and give 4 units to this pair, 4 units to this pair, and 2 units to this pair over here, right? So if I take 0.4 and divide it by 10, I come up with 0.04. So this is a full unit right here. This is a half a unit. This is a half a unit, which together equals 1 unit. So I have a total of 2 units to the short side on Euro USD right now. That makes sense? I have 1 potential unit here that's a pending order on pound yen. I don't have anything over here on USD Swiss because I'm done. We've already made this move. This move up has hit our resistance spot over here. If I was to draw this over, insert shapes, rectangle, that kind of deal there. I'm at this resistance spot. I need to see a pullback first before I engage in any other trading on US Swiss. So I need to see this pullback here. Let's fix that. Right? If we draw Fibonacci on that thing, from a low up to a high, I drew that. Wow, that's just a lot of drawing over the course of 13 years I've been doing this. Right back to the 50% retracement spot. So over here, I'm interested in starting to add some buy position on US Swiss. I don't short. This is my carry trade pair. So I'm only looking to go long on this particular currency pair. So if I pull back into this zone down in here, I'm going to start examining some potential for engaging in some buy position. Right now, there's nothing for me to do in US Swiss. So not even looking at it. I would prefer to be long on pound yen. In fact, I was young. I was young once. I was long on pound yen over here. If you look at some history. Had some buy position where I went long. Although I guess I had some short setups that I took some short trades on. Closed out of that. Interesting. All right, cool. So that's how I do a long-term and a short-term trade at the same time. I have my long-term setup running, and based on that long-term setup, I can scalp in the morning if I want to and do this same direction. Someone's looking for Aussie Yen or Euro New Zealand. We'll look at Aussie Yen real quick. What's your structure? So if I was to go ahead and, by the way, this thing we drew from whenever we drew it, this would be maybe last week or something. We drew this move down and said we could retrace into this area, sell it off, and come down. If you're, folks, if you're paying attention, if you're watching this, you're going to see trade opportunities like this one. So if you took this trade, you've made your money. If you did any kind of a trailing stop or anything, still haven't quite hit our target. So this is still active. A Fibonacci is active until you break your 618 or you hit your extensional. Your extensional on this one is actually still down here. So this whole thing is still available. Right? If you want to get in on this still, you're looking for another pullback situation to go short either to this target or to continue to this target or to continue here. You're going to need some global economic conditions to go risk off for this to happen. Looks to me, I read a story that Trump tweeted out over the weekend. Looks like phase one is going to be nearly a done deal. So positive trade news could make this go up. If that happens, if we go up from this location, you are looking at resistance levels. Well, you've got this R1 with previous structure over here and this 38.2 with this R1 here at 74.20, 74.30 in that range. This, if I was to get in short, I'd probably want to see a pullback here first before I got in. So this little blue area arrow I drew, I want to see this materialize, and then I'm looking maybe for a short off of that. Right? If we continue to go up, here's kind of the end of the road for bulls. I'd imagine if price gets up into this area between around 74, 70, somewhere in this zone, bulls are going to take their profit. So if you got in short, this is another example of here I'd get in with like a half of my unit here. If it kept going up, I'd get in with the other half of a unit up in this area. So that would be one full unit of work. So let me back up here. Let me help you with this and help you understand. I would get in. This is why I'm saying get in with not your full unit size, unit allotment here at this spot. If I got in with a half a unit here and it goes up, I get in with the other half up here and then take the thing down. Okay? If I got in with a half a unit of my allotment here and it goes down, I wait for my next pullback and then I get in with the second half of my allotment after I get my pullback. Does that make sense? Where's my marker at? Let's add, I can't believe I don't have the marker up here. Tools, where's the marker? Marker tool, add it. And I know it's already defaulted to green, so we're changing, it's defaulted to purple. That works. Get in here with my half. If it goes up, I get in with the second half up here in this area. Okay, that's scenario one. Scenario two, I get in with my first half here. If it goes down, awesome. I wait for my next pullback and get in the second half after the pullback and then continue the whole thing down. There's good reason to get in, not with your full, allotment. One of my contemporaries, a guy that I trust quite a bit, I've worked with in the past, he's out of California. He divides his position up into 4 pieces. So this would be a quarter of a position that he'd get in on here. And he saves that 3/4 for other opportunities to add to his position and things like that. So he can do a lot of, he likes to do a lot of price averaging. So he'll save a portion of his unit size for additional trades. So again, just to review, you get in with a portion of your lot size, save some in your back pocket. If it goes against you, fine. You're going to do a price average here. If it goes your way, fine. You're going to look for a pullback and you'll get in with the rest of it down here at that spot. Right? Euro New Zealand, let me look at this one over here for Euro New Zealand. No, well, it's okay. We'll do this. I don't think I have. Let's go back over here. Let's save this. This is saved. Let's change this up. Let's go. I'm going to have to load the data for this is why I'm hesitating. Euro New Zealand. File, save as. You are. Oh, it's loaded up. NZD. It is still morning. All right, so you're in New Zealand. Again, I love being short on this. This is my carry trade pair. Here's a 5-minute chart over here. Let's change this to a 120 for a look at a longer term. So I like this because we've been short. This is a short market here. I do have some structure we've run into. If you look at these lows over here, they correspond with these lows over here. So we hit this almost this double bottom zone. So this is a position. I'm overbought over here on my trade chart, right? So I've made my 3 candle pullback. So if I am bearish on this, I should be getting in to sell it and try to go either a retest of this here or go down to my further support structure down here in this area. If I Fibonacci this thing from top, here's my top from last week. Here's my low from last week. I'm still looking at this area down in here, so not too far away from this structure spot. If this is more of a double bottom, and a double bottom means a reversal pattern. If this is a double bottom, what price is going to have to do to confirm that is to break this 618 up here. I got to break this 72.85 area. If I break this, then it changes my plans. I'm looking for a pullback and then to engage in the next move up to my next target. But again, I don't do that on this pair personally because I only sell this currency pair. So this would be a similar play to what we're doing on the Euro USD, where we get in with maybe a portion of our lot size here and then engage up here with the second part of our lot size, of our unit allotment on this pair. Looking at gold. Gold just short it. I'm looking at gold being short. If we were to look at, I'm not sure if I have my other account on here. Oops, I don't think I do. I think I just have this one. Let me see what the login credentials are with that other account. We're going to do file. Log into trade account. I think it's this is bad radio. I think it's 1084. Let's see, I have to look it up. No, it's 184. And then the password on that one, I'm gonna have to go find it. I'll show you my gold position and we can discuss that. Sorry, this is bad radio. Give me a second while I pull my password on this other account. Bad radio. password on that guy is... Alright, here's my other account. This is that 72K one. I've been in this gold trade for who knows how long. Change the symbol. Well, I know how long. 11. No, that's not the right one, is it? Oh, yeah. 11.5? What? Oh, it's account history. I'm like, what am I looking at? There we go. Current trade. Since May. How would you guys like to be in a trade since, basically it's June, so May 31st. June, July, so that's a month. July, August, September, October. Here we are, November. So I've been in this thing for 5 months on gold. Would that be chill with you? Would you be able to deal with that? Let's get some gold in here. Energies, spot metals. Profile, I can actually... Yeah, can you see why I'm bearish on this? Notice my Fibonacci return. Sorry that took so long, guys. High to low. Pull back into my retracement zone. Starting to move down to where? Well, if this, it's all backwards. I don't have this Fibonacci configured. Hold on one second. Let me figure it. Doing a lot of work on the fly here. 23.6, 30.250, so I need to do an extensional. Quick, I've got to make sure I get this right. Alright, so very good. So this needs to change to my extensional, which is negative 0.23. And I can actually just call it my extensional. I don't need this other stuff. All right, there we go. So here's my retracement zone up in here. Here's my extensional sitting really close to 114.30. So I'm at 114.55. So my longer term trade plan is for this to wind up down here. Now, if we get the trade deals done and that all that stuff continues, you could very easily see that. Now, that's my longer term. Short term, I could jump in here and I could scalp this thing short once I see a little bit of 3 candle pullback. So if I, without using any indicators or anything, with keeping this long-term trade plan in place, give me a 5 or a 3 candle pullback. I have 1, 2. See, there's a 3 candle pullback right there. I should have been short about 15 minutes ago. So I have this move down. If I can get a 3 candle pullback, I'm going short again. And on this one, though, I'm probably just going to grab a couple of bucks. Go from 114.54 down to 114.52. Just that's similar to grabbing a scalp out of any other currency pair. But, you know, longer term, again, I'm still looking for this to go short. What's my line in the sand? My line in the sand on this is, see this 161.8? I got a confluence of highs. I got some structure over here. All of this up here is resistance. So if this goes bullish, that's where I'd want to re-engage in a short position, is up there in that area. Right? So I'm short now. If I do get a pullback off of this to come up, I think that's a brick wall right up there on 114.87, 114.86, up there in that zone. Make sense? Perfect. All right, guys, that's Trade Floor for Monday morning. Hopefully this helps you out with longer term and shorter term trades. I'm not against micro scalping. I almost want to say it's not a waste of my time, but I mean, why would I just risk on if I have 10 allotments available to me, 10 units available to me, why would I waste a full unit on a 5 pip trade? Why would I not save that in my back pocket for a bigger potential setup that could give me more pips and be more profitable for me? You see what I mean? So scalping's fun. It's cool. Make sure if you're going to scalp that you're, these smaller moves, you're doing it with your bigger direction in mind. If your short trade does not work out, you can repurpose that trade to fit your longer term trade plan. Okay? Be good, guys. We'll talk to you on the other side. Bye.